Hello, welcome to Chrysler Gamer's video review of the j5create live capture adapter with HDMI USB to USB-C with power delivery. Now, this is going to be an unusual review because I don't usually do video reviews, but I can't figure out a better way to show you some of the features and the limitations of this device without doing it this way. So I'm going to get right to it. So I'm going to flip the camera on my phone and you'll get to see what I see as I will show you my setup for this test. All right, so here we go. All right, so this is my GPD Win Max. This is the device I'm using to drive my screen. It's just a Windows computer. All right, here is the j5create plugged in, connected. It is connected to my desktop computer, which is running the OBS software. All right. And here's the HDMI feed from the back of the GPD Win Max. And you can see here's the ports, right? But the main thing I wanted to test was the video quality and the lag. So what I'm doing is I'm running from the back of this computer. That is the mouse that I've connected. It's power cable. This is an HDMI out. And this HDMI out goes to this HDMI splitter, okay, with two outputs. This is the input. One output is to the j5create, and the other is directly to my monitor. Now it turns out that this monitor has a really cool feature, which many may have heard of, called picture-by-picture, as I will show you. So this is the exact same result, as you can see. But I pulled up the Blurbusters website. I probably should have pulled up Chrysler Gamer, but that's okay. But the reason I wanted to do that is, and you'll be able to see why in a moment. So this is the direct image. Now, I don't know how easy it's going to come through on this camera phone, but this is, you can see the text is clear and crisp with no chroma subsampling issues of any kind. And here, you can see that there is chroma subsampling damage to the image, or to the picture. It's kind of you got color in between each of the characters. It's not crisp in that. I mean, it looks crisp, but it's not. The colors are slightly distorted. And I wanted to show you the motion tests as well. So here is the UFO, the famous UFO. You can see that 60 frames per second does indeed work, though there is the occasional stutter compared to the native direct feed. It's not. I don't consider that a major issue. But it just, be warned, right? This is what you see through the capture card through OBS software, and this is what you see directly. But I don't really consider this a major issue. But it is worth pointing out that there is input lag through this video. So one of the things that I was hoping, one thing this device lacks is a pass-through port. So by using the splitter box, I was able to emulate a pass-through port. The reason that's relevant is when you're doing game streaming, you want to be able to play the game while you are streaming it, and if you have to watch the output of your stream to play it, lag, depending on the game type, lag may be an issue. So I have two 1080p streams here. One is through OBS, one is direct, and you can see that if you look closely, you can see that the monitor on the right is slightly ahead of the OBS rebroadcast on the left. Is this slow enough to be noticeable? I would say yes. When I move the mouse, for example, I was able to feel a little bit of a lag. Is it enough to be a problem? Probably not. It really depends on what you're playing. If you're playing a fast-paced first-person shooter, if you're playing a shoot 'em up, if you're playing, an action game where you'll be able to feel that delay, then I would say yes, it's definitely a problem. But if you're playing an RPG or a puzzle game or something like that, I don't really think it'll be a problem at all. It's not so bad that it's distracting, but it is noticeable if you look for it. But with that said, look how tiny that thing is. It's smaller than the switch box I'm using. Now, granted, there are smaller switch boxes, splitters. And actually, I think a really neat portable streaming setup might be to get one of the smaller splitters. They make them that are about this big, and it has 1 in and 2 outs. And then using this together with it, and then a separate like portable monitor or something like that. And then you can have the game streaming in one side and being able to see it without lag on the other. And I think this would make a fantastic portable streaming setup, because not everybody wants to bring their tower, log their tower with an Elgato, or even the Streambox that my wife uses for streaming. It works well, and it has a pass-through port, which is really helpful, which this doesn't. But I think for a $20 splitter, you could basically emulate that pass-through port. And even together with these two, it is still smaller. It takes up less luggage space than the larger streaming box that she has. The streaming box is about, I'd say about this big. So it's like about this wide, and then about this wide, or this big. And so yeah, I mean, I'd say this is, despite the lag through the stream, which again is not a lot, put things into perspective that it's really not that bad. But unfortunately, without a pass-through port, this is the downside of that. But again, is it so bad that you won't be able to play a lot of games? No, I think a lot of games will be just fine. And especially since this thing is so small, you use it for live blog, or blogging, for example, right? So it's got a camera mount screw hole here. It's got various microphone and headphone monitoring features. So you could use this in ways that you wouldn't be able to use, say, a PC gaming streaming box. For example, you could have this hooked up to your cell phone, which is a supported feature, and record things of that nature. So yeah, and you could almost use it like a camcorder, right? Which is pretty cool. So anyway, I thought that'd be interesting and informative. Overall, the picture quality when you're actually playing a game, it's harder to notice the chroma subsampling crush. I don't think that's a major issue for most people. I suppose I could launch a game really quick. Let me see, what do I have here that would be a good fit for this? Let's do something simple. Well, this isn't simple, but I know it works and it's pretty. And we'll just go ahead and launch this real quick. You should be able to see them side by side. Oh, it's actually running 720p, which does make sense. That's the resolution of my screen. And honestly, this game wouldn't run on this computer very well at any higher than that. So let's leave it there. But I'll just show you the title screen, just to show you that despite the chroma subsampling, it's not really noticeable unless you really look for it. So here is the original source. Okay. And here is the streamed version. And I mean, you have to be looking. You really can't tell. It's only with fine text on like a web browser that you can really tell the difference. So, okay. Well, I hope that helps. And all right. So I hope that helps. And take care. And God bless.